back where I started, but maybe not back when I started. Good one, time traveler Dewey.
Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's the most wonderful time of the year because it's the last good month before ad revenue takes a sharp nosedive. So let's get cracking on some content, shall we? Today we're heading back to my favorite show of all time, DuckTales 2017, to look at the holiday episode I've wanted to talk about for quite some time, Last Christmas. Oh wait, the title has an exclamation point. Last Christmas! It's only natural we start the month here. After all, what's more Christmassy than ducks?
A lot of things, actually.
The episode starts with an alternative version of the opening. It's a briefer intro with added snowflakes. There's also some guy who's meant to sound like a singer from the 50s singing to a Christmassy remix. Afterwards, we see Donald setting up Christmas decorations at McDuck Manor. Scrooge, however, does not approve.
Get those inflatable abominations off my lawn!
Inside the house, we see more Christmas shenanigans going on, but Scrooge just doesn't seem to have the Christmas spirit.
Crass commercialism, empty sentiment, and all the trappings of the holiday!
Geez, I know Scrooge has his angry moments, but he seems way grumpier than usual. It's almost like he doesn't like Christmas. Wait a second. Scrooge doesn't like Christmas. Scrooge doesn't like Christmas. Oh, my goodness. Scrooge doesn't like Christmas.
Bah, humbug.
He said it!
Haha! Words cannot describe how happy that made me. For those of you who don't know, yes, Scrooge's character is literally based off of Charles Dickens's Ebenezer Scrooge. Now, they're not the same guy. In fact, it's weird that this particular version of Scrooge hates Christmas since he's usually all about family and togetherness, but I'm absolutely willing to overlook that because the reference is too amazing. Scrooge, angry at life, declares to the rest of the family that he's headed off to bed. Elsewhere in the mansion, we see that Scrooge isn't the only one lacking in Christmas spirit. Dewey is feeling some kind of way about having to go yet another Christmas without his mother, who's been missing since before he and his brothers were hatched. Aw, poor kid. I might feel bad for him if he wasn't Dewey. Yeah, nothing's changed since the last DuckTales review. I still can't stand this kid. I actually really love that interaction. It makes so much sense for Donald to assume that whenever the boys are hiding something from him, it must be for nefarious reasons. Donald invites Dewey to come caroling with the family, but Dewey rejects him, stating he's not in a good mood. He also has a bit of an attitude about it, as if he's sick of being around the family, which isn't normal for Dewey. Donald understands and leaves, but shortly after, Dewey spots a suspicious light and follows it to Scrooge's room.
Hey, what a man!
Dewey, meet the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future.
No, I ran that joke into the ground. We're not doing it anymore. Obviously, this is another reference to A Christmas Carol. Past being a cricket means the show is specifically calling back to the Mickey Mouse version that came out in the 80s, though they did swap out the characters since A, they probably wanted to keep the animal motif they got going on, and B, using clearly recognizable characters from other Disney properties wouldn't work as well in an adventure cartoon series as it did in a one-off special.
Years ago, they accidentally haunted my home.
Yeah, we were looking for a different Scrooge.
Scrooge reveals to Dewey that he doesn't actually hate Christmas. The only reason he pretends to be upset is so he won't be missed when he spends Christmas Eve with the spirits traveling through time.
I have so many responsibilities throughout the year. My family, my business, secretly keeping the world-eating serpent Jormungandr at bay.
The what?
They actually follow up on that in another episode, which is also about Dewey.
I just need one night a year where I can really cut loose.
So, I'm not gonna lie, a part of me is very disappointed that canonically, this version of Scrooge didn't go through the Christmas Carol story. That is what his character is based around, and it somewhat feels like a crucial piece of the puzzle is missing. But like I said earlier, the personality of the Scrooge from that story doesn't really make sense for this version of Scrooge. Sure, he's made plenty of selfish decisions, but Scrooge throughout the show has always been a good person who loves his family. And while he's definitely cheap, he's not a stranger to charities. You just can't see him being an actual Scrooge.
Every Christmas Eve, we use my trusty Timebrella to go back and revisit the best Christmas parties history has to offer!
Yes, that is obviously Jack McBrayer. I'm not gonna say he's a bad voice actor, but I'm not really a fan of his work. He's one of those instantly recognizable voice actors whom I often love, but hearing his particular voice always just takes me out of the experience. Well, except for Wander. It almost feels lazy to cast him since he has the perfect chipper personality voice. Since Dewey is in a grumpy mood, he agrees to keep Scrooge's going-ons a secret. Scrooge and the three spirits head out, the cinematography is weird, meaning Dewey clearly did something, and everyone is off.
Right back where we started.
But not right back when we started.
Past takes the group back in time to Scrooge's first Christmas party.
Young me, old me.
It is fun how, in the Duck family, so many strange things happen that they're rarely ever surprised by them. Scrooge is excited and absolutely feeling the party. Unfortunately, when businessmen go to business parties, it's not to have fun, but to rub elbows so they can potentially do business. And because it's his own party, Scrooge gets mistaken for his younger self and is forced to mingle with sticks in the mud.
I thought we were taking a break. What good's a party if I have to work at it?
Christmases were so much better back then. Now.
Past is able to get Scrooge to start relaxing once again, even pointing out Goldie, the love who keeps getting away from him. Unfortunately, a lot of people looking for an investor get in Scrooge's way, continuing to remind him of his responsibilities.
Yeah, even back then, all everyone wanted was a piece of my fortune.
Oh, come now, Scrooge.
Immediately after, the Beagle Boys of the past come in to crash the party, robbing the place, and what is young Scrooge doing? Why is he just letting his place get robbed? I think the dude was sneaking out when old Scrooge arrived because he is nowhere to be seen. Present gets abducted by the Beagles and Future gets abducted by Beakley. The party dies, leaving just Past and Scrooge. Scrooge suggests maybe he just go back to his family, but Past insists they simply try a different time.
Your first Christmas in Duckburg, before family and fortune and business harassed. It's the perfect Christmas!
Past, Scrooge was indeed looking to get away from his responsibilities, but he's also a massive extrovert. Your mistake was not surrounding him with people, it was surrounding him with people he knew. If you just leave him out here with nothing to do...
Silent night indeed. Curse me kills, this is boring.
Yeah, that, exactly.
Now I see your lesson, Spectre.
He has a name. You guys are friends, use it.
The minor frustrations of your life pale in comparison to the excitement they bring.
Okay, yeah, but Scrooge, you didn't want to leave your responsibilities for good. You just wanted a night off. Granted, your night off from your family probably shouldn't have been during a time that's all about family, but what you're doing isn't abandoning your life, it's just taking a breather from it. Vacationing is very normal. Having learned his lesson, I guess, Scrooge is ready to go back home. Past, however, is not ready to take him there. Then.
You were different. You always came back to us. Then your family moved in, and I get left behind again!
Scrooge, wanting to go back to his family, battles it out with Past. Unfortunately, he doesn't have anything in his immediate arsenal to combat a spirit with. Well, nothing but his wits.
You know, this is an amazing fight.
I know, right?
What I wouldn't give to do it over again.
Let's do it! Every year... Scrooge?
Meh, I'm sure he'll be fine. The second half of the story focuses on Dewey, who thought it would be smart to stow away on a time-traveling trip. Unfortunately, he falls off and winds up stuck in a different time than Scrooge. He runs up to see if he can find his mother since he knows she and Donald used to adventure with Scrooge.
You can't tell me what to do. Furry on you!
Uncle Donald?
Ah, they got Russi Taylor to play young Donald. That is so perfect, you don't even know. I mean, not only was she the official voice of Minnie Mouse for decades, but also...
A palace, and a butler, and our own room.
It's really sad that we lost her back in 2019, but it makes me so happy that she got to do this performance before she passed.
Who are you? How much did you hear? Did you like it? Answer me!
Just a little reminder that I absolutely love the humor in this show. Dewey claims to be a distant relative, to which young Donald believes since the Duck family is extremely big and confusing. Dewey asks where Donald's sister Della is and is told she's out back hunting for Santa. Oh yeah, the Duck family are enemies with Santa Claus for reasons that are explained in another episode.
Come on, you gotta help me find her.
No thanks. Christmas is a bunch of kid stuff.
It's really not, and I will not have you blaspheme.
Snatch!
Hey, what's the big idea?
Catchphrases are the greatest thing in the universe that anyone has ever invented. Dewey races to the backyard but finds a destroyed camp and no Della.
Aw, man, it's all out of tune.
Stop! Della's not here.
I don't know if people can fully grasp the joy I feel from these two voices of Dewey Duck talking to each other like they are. Dewey thinks Della was attacked, but Donald thinks she just got in over her head.
She packed way too much food. She brought a family-sized tent that she couldn't even set up by herself.
However, Dewey seems to be right when the two find strange footprints in the snow. As the boys search for Della, Dewey tries to pry information about her out of Donald.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to go on a Christmas adventure with her?
Well, why aren't you with your family?
The answer to that is complicated and full of paradoxes.
Eventually, Dewey and Donald find Della's scarf that she always keeps with her, as well as an unexpected guess. I was obligated to play that clip because it had a catchphrase in it. Eventually, the two duck boys fall for a trap set by none other than...
Della?
Squawk, squawk, squawk. Look who decided to come camping.
Okay, for those of you who've never seen this show, this was a very big moment. Dewey has been looking for Della for a season and a half at this point.
This dummy and your dumb band, too?
I am a solo act.
Give it time. As she starts to cut the boys down, Della explains that the creature stalking her is probably a Wendigo, a spirit whose obsession has transformed him. Wait, it's a Wendigo and it just shouts its name all the time? What is this, Pokemon?
Hurry up and get us down, dumb Bella!
Donald, I have siblings too, and now is not the time.
No, not until you apologize.
For what?
Wrong answer.
Della, I have siblings too, and now is not the time. Della's demand for the apology was not for the name calling, but rather for something else Donald did wrong.
How could I have done anything wrong? I haven't seen you all night.
Dewey puts it all together. Della didn't really care all that much about capturing Santa. She just wanted to spend time with Donald, and this was her excuse. Hence why she brought so much food, a big tent, and why she left her scarf behind for him to find. Simultaneously, Dewey realizes that he was doing the same thing Donald was with his own family. Just so we're clear, I support the message of making time to spend with those you care about. Definitely do that. However, Della didn't bother to tell Donald what was wrong. As soon as he knew he was upsetting her, he immediately apologized and vowed to change. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're upset at someone, it's your responsibility to bring up why you're upset to that person. If you don't, you're not justified in holding a grudge because people can't fix problems that they don't know exist. After Donald's apology, Della happily cuts her family loose.
All right, ugly, what do you want?
Of course. Now that they've stopped fighting, the Duck Twins show Dewey how the OG adventuring team fought monsters. I love seeing Della and Donald working together. Synergy in general is actually really fun to watch. I also love that Donald's classic rage was turned into a secret weapon in this show. The Duck family dragged their captured prize back to the manor, and Donald gives another apology.
I really am sorry. I promise we'll never spend another Christmas apart.
That is insanely sad. Della and Donald leave to look for Scrooge so he can come take care of the Wendigo. While they're gone, the Wendigo escapes, but time-traveling Scrooge is able to take him down.
What in blazes are you doing here? You could have...
Can we please just go back to our family?
No, punish him! Scrooge, if you hadn't happened to see Dewey on your return trip, he would be stuck in the past. Normally I'd be like, oh, it's Christmas, you can let it slide. But this constantly happens with Dewey. He does something extremely reckless, endangering himself and or his family, and then the episode just plays it off like, oh, haha, what a silly kid. I will never not be salty about the last crash of the Sun Chaser. There is no justification for what he did in that episode. It's revealed that the obsessed spirit was actually passed.
He's been lost in these woods this whole time. Every Christmas Eve, waiting for me.
And he never found you? He knows where you live. Did he want this specific version of you? Because he had a good many years to find any version of Scrooge. Wait a second. That whole time, he wasn't saying when to go. He was saying, when'd he go? As in, when did Scrooge go? Oh my goodness, that's actually a really clever play on words, especially since the episode kept highlighting that time travelers like to stress time instead of location. Scrooge forgives past and ensures him that no one will get left behind on Christmas, not even spirits. Everyone returns to present day to spend time with the Duck family. They all gather together to sing 12 Days of Christmas, which Launchpad butchers.
12 days of Christmas, 11 planes will flying. 10 Days of Christmas.
Apparently he's not the only one. Like, seriously, look up the lyrics to that song. You will get a few different versions because everyone switches up the last 4 gifts. The episode's credits decide to pay homage, ending with stills of various scenes having been drawn in classic Disney comic style. And that was Last Christmas, a really fun and heartwarming episode, which is par for the course with DuckTales. They slipped up a bit on the morals, but I am absolutely willing to overlook that for everything else. The first time I saw the spirits and heard Russi Taylor's voice, I could not hold in my excitement. And it was great to see Della since she's been such a big mystery for so long in the show. Just like the Darkwing Duck episode, this exemplifies that DuckTales 2017 is able to honor where it came from, but is also trying to do its own thing. With great character moments, awesome nostalgic references, and a fun and clever twist, I find myself watching this year after year. Not just for Christmas, but anytime I'm in the mood for a good DuckTale. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.